least, it seems like a super close game, Blair. But we have seen in situations like this in the past, sometimes the occasion gets to players.
Absolutely. I feel like ENCE have been on this upward trajectory, and I think Maui and Pim painted a very clear picture that ENCE are a team you shouldn't really be trifling with. They are looking very good. You have the likes of Spinks and whatnot, but you go up against this G2 side, and Maui made a very good point there. I mean, they really haven't been tested by the likes of a Nico and, of course, all the stars in that lineup, but we're not wasting any time here. We're going to be jumping straight into this matchup, and Vince, I don't know about you, but my body is ready.
I am so ready, Blair. One of the better matchups that you will see in probably the Challengers or Legends stage. Two teams that will be expected to go very far in this major, and G2 kicking things off on the T side, already getting out aggressive towards middle.
Yeah, going to be going for a fast play towards Cat here, and it's going to be Madden making first contact. The flashbang, though, Spinks towards lower tunnels. It's a bit of an aggressive posturing coming out from ENCE, but not able to quite land any shots. Madden, fortunately, will be able to find his way onto the A-bomb set. However, that's a very uncomfortable position they are in, because m0NESY can make life very uncomfortable here. He's going to find Hades, but Madden will reply back instantly.
He will. Snappy stuck in an awkward position as Alexi burns Madden to a crisp. 3-play-2 as ENCE taking control over the site. Post plant will be coming up, but Diha in an interesting position on elevator. How he wishes that he had Spinks up closer. Now the smoke is cleared and dwindled. A snappy headshot straight to the dome of Alexi, courtesy of Spinks. And now Diha's coming back in for one of his own. Hunter all alone on the site with his Glock, trying to rat-tat-tat himself to the first round of this game, but Diha takes his head off and runs away with it. I thought Hunter had every chance, considering the Glock up close range typically prevails.
And that's the thing with this team, right? We talk about the stars on the side of G2. You're talking about Nico. You're talking about Hunter. You're talking about m0NESY. But you cannot ignore the fact that players like Diha, like Spinks, like Hades have been fantastic. They've been lights out off late, having an incredible run ever since they brought in Madden onto this lineup. So yeah, that round really looked like G2 had ENCE's number. There was a good wrap coming in, m0NESY towards long, making life very uncomfortable for the ENCE side, but somehow turning around the 2v3 with a bomb planted as well, Ben. So a great start here for the this mixed side. Both international squads, of course.
Yeah. Many nations being represented in just this matchup, let alone the rest of the major. And Jax, the French contingent, waiting outside of long doors, seeing if perhaps Snappy gets a bit overzealous, seeing if the Dane tries to play something with this SMG. Nothing so far forthcoming. And once again, as is going to be often the case, it is Dust2, the tried and tested, the true catwalk aggression.
Yeah, the force buy with m0NESY, of course, with a trademark scoped rifle in his hands. And again, the Deagles, man, like, if you just go back to yesterday, Nico and a Deagle, we know what that combination can do, and we saw him really pop off yesterday on Dust2 as well. So ENCE will be very, very aware of this as Nico will be leading the chance. He will be spotted, however, getting dinged down to 91 points of health. Fortunately for him, there is no nade follow-up, so he will stay alive for the time being. And just waiting for a move to be made here by ENCE. And ENCE aren't giving anything. And that being said, Madden slowly inching towards mid. They're going to find Jax looking for the second kill, which he will indeed. But m0NESY will finally trade him as Nico with the Deagle finds Hades. And all of a sudden, it's a 3v3. And they do have the A-bomb site.
They do a fast flank coming around, though, from Snappy from long doors. But they will have a good idea as to this being a possibility. Tossing the bomb across will afford now m0NESY to peer down on the catwalk side. Spray is good. Snappy's been dealt with accordingly, and that makes this potential retake that much more difficult. A lot of players would decide to dip out at this stage and hold on to the weapons that they possess, and that's why it's such a difficult site to retake in a 2-on-3. And you have to take on board as well, with this being just the second round potential loss coming in, ENCE's economy is absolutely devastated as a result of this loss.
Oh yeah, they just went in for the full buy. They had all the rifles as well to work with, but then m0NESY, I mean, fantastic work from Madden towards mid, finding these 2 kills through double doors, but m0NESY gets the kill there, right? That's a crucial frag. But more importantly, Nico on 9 HP decapitates Hades, who was playing towards Scar, and that completely opens up the A-bomb site. And unfortunately, we had, I do believe, a Snappy who was playing towards long, going for the long flank. But if he maybe just stuck around towards the long position, maybe this retake would have been a little bit more viable. They would have felt a little bit more uncomfortable, getting kind of pincer on the A-bomb site on the post plan for G2. But they will stay alive. able to salvage quite a number of guns as well for the side of G2. And for ENCE, yeah, they're going to be going for the force buy of their own. The M4A1 safe in the hands of Diha, and it is going to be Madden who will be the first to fall. m0NESY, he's got his signature gun out very, very early here in the game.
You consider this guy's age, the amount of experience he's had. This could be such a phenomenal coming-of-age story for m0NESY in terms of being a player here at G2. A lot of people had their doubts. They had their question marks going back when he was picked up. And I think he's proved a lot of the naysayers wrong. Great opener. Jax has taken a little bit of chip damage, but so is Snappy. And keep in mind, the buy is very poor indeed. Not far off connecting some more shots here, though.
Yeah, actually tagging Nico down through the door. 28 points of health. Snappy. The scout still tapping away. They do know the M4A1 in the hands of Diha was towards short. He did rattle off a couple of bullets there, but it's still going to be making their way up towards A. All 5 members grouped up together. That being said, Nico has been tagged. Jax down to 59 points of health as well. So if there was a little bit of utility here, and Diha does have that, Incendiary could slow things down. And considering the amount of presence they have towards long doors, they have full control. So the only avenue for G2 is towards short right now.
It is D has been mollied off twice. Has to relocate. Gaps in the smoke afford him safe passage, however. But considering he's the only player with an M4, he has got to make this sing. He's got to orchestrate a symphony of destruction here onto the T's as they push onto the site. But so far, he's not been called upon. They're playing this one a little bit slower. Keep in mind Jax's position as well. He could have the long flank around the back of the CTs, even if they're successful in getting a couple of early entries back onto A. That may not be good enough. He's the ace up the sleeve. Diha has been so patient, so willing to just turn himself away from this aggression, but it's not worked out for him, and Snappy is the last to fall. ENCE, very solid round in the end for G2.
I like the play from Diha, though. He didn't really overface. They knew where his position was. They're just waiting for his teammates to come on in. But in the end of the day, everyone just hitting the shots, right? We saw a little bit of Bogdan's law come into place as well. m0NESY tossing the AWP in the hands in the direction of Nico. Who should? There we go. He's dropped it back to the hands of m0NESY. I don't feel comfortable when I see Nico off, Vince. Just well. It's all right. It's still early days. It's okay. It's all forgiven. A full eco, however, going to be coming out here from the side of ENCE. So, yeah, pretty interesting start here to the game. ENCE winning what looked like a very rough pistol round at 2v3, able to win the retake, but then G2, they answer back almost immediately. And the previous round as well, despite the danger of that A1 saved in the hands of Diha, they were able to just lose one player there. So, the money's starting to look pretty solid as well, considering still very early days. And right now for ENCE with the pistol, just trying to maybe find a couple of kills here, which doesn't look like it's going to take place. Jackson Hunter just mopping up the bodies, and Nate is going to deal quite a bit of damage as well. But I'm more curious about how the next couple of rounds are going to be playing out. The buy should be coming in, obviously, for ENCE. And you're taking a look at the money here. I don't see an AWP being purchased for 80s, right? It's going to be A1s coming out for, should be the majority of the players. Utility will also be pretty decent, I guess. Hades can... We could see a multitude of smokes being purchased, maybe a couple of Molotovs, but obviously some of them will have to SG going for the head armor. And there you go. A1s on each and every one of the members here. And this is going to be the first real proper test for ENCE, right? Now they have all the guns, all the weaponry they need. They have the utility as well. And for the side of G2, well, this is the sort of start they were looking for.
No, precisely. I mean, as you said, even the pistol wasn't exactly easy in a foregone conclusion on the side of ENCE. And now it's going to be aggression. That grenade could do a lot of damage, though, and it does. They walk over that barrage of shrapnel. Diha, though, through the smoke, will perforate it and deal with Hunter. 1-for-1 trade, but ENCE do take some long control.
And this push from Madden is so critical. The moment they notice no one towards tunnels, they can immediately allocate the majority of the resources towards this A bomb site, because they know that G2 will be slowly but surely inching their way in towards A. And G2 they're not making secret of things. They are heading towards A bomb site. And right now, ENCE have so much information to work with. They know short is clear. They know there's no one towards B. So this defense could actually completely ruin G2's day.
They do have the wall of smokes, but that second smoke has not plumed in position just yet. Another one needs to be tossed down. There we go. Now Hades has been locked out. I say that, but he sledgehammers open the door with the A1S, and Jack stood behind it, gets crunched down. Ooh. Nice counteractive kill from Nico. It's had a bit of a slow start, but you always know he's never out of the game. Madden needs to use that smoke as his sanctuary, trying to dart around the shadows and make the most of Gandalf as it stands. Now a gap in the smoke has appeared, and Hades is trying his best to make as much use of that as possible. Good, well-placed flash, but now Madden shows his hand. This has been an excellent hold from the CTs, all things considered. Monacy needs to go above and beyond, and instead, he gets submerged by Spinks, and ENCE have finally bounced back.
That's a huge round coming in from Madden. They're even able to retrieve the AWP from Monacy's corpse, which will be in the pretty capable hands of Hades. Snappy, though, a bit of a quiet start for the man. I love the flashback from Monacy, just such a perfect flashback, catching them off guard, but Madden staying alive towards Gandalf, and Monacy there. He knew he was going to be peaking, but the timing not quite panning out for him. But for G2, they're still going to be very comfortable, Vince. They have managed to accrue quite a lot of cash, winning some of those anti-eco rounds very convincingly. Just, I think, dropping one player in 2 rounds. So AKs abound for each and every one of the members. Monacy as well with the AWP. If you see the Monacy we saw yesterday, it's not going to be easy for ENCE.
No, absolutely not. And he's already 7-2. Had 7 kills after 3 rounds, I believe. Was in hot form. Meanwhile, Snappy 0-5. Not necessarily one of the heavy hitters though on ENCE. Shouldn't be doing most of that heavy lifting. Hades, the classic close angle with the AWP. Spots the trajectory of the Molotov. Knows at least one player's round here, but that Molotov is burning him away. Oh, if he'd lasted 1 more second, that could have been a kill.
G2 using all utility to ensure they don't have to give a free kill to ENCE just to get some information. The first time thus far in his first half, in this half, is it slowly inched away towards mid, and now Madden aware. You heard the flashback. It's a bit of a ruse towards A though, and Madden, the flashback is so good though, and he will spot a player out, but Nico dropping in from short, able to find Madden, and that's the... Look at the way the bomb sites are just split in half right now. G2 have complete control, and it's going to come down to Hades to hit a good shot, but he will find nothing.
Nico going from strength to strength, a great divide and conquer approach now, and Nico has picked up his 3rd. He's on for the ace. If Diha and Spinks want to tread over onto the ace side of the map, but it is fraught with terrors. And instead they decide that saving is the best course of action, and looking at their collective economy, that definitely seems to be the correct decision. Now if they'll be allowed that luxury is yet to be seen, because Jax is on the prowl, will be bested by Spinks, could be an AK-47 if he wants to traverse across towards the T-spawn. Looks like ENCE may be able to hold on to these 2 weapons, but even if they do, Blair, this has been such a good start now for G2.
Absolutely. It looks like whatever they're planning to execute and all these rounds are winning, it's just working to perfection, right? The way they were able to kind of lure Madden in towards CD spawn, trying to go for that little bit of a mid to B ruse, and Nico just dropping in. And even though Madden, was able to stay alive for a couple of seconds, helped out by a flashbang from his teammates towards the B bomb site. The moment they have full control towards mid and CD spawn, that's a defense being split. And from then G2, they had wherever they wanted to go. But they go for the A bomb site. Hades missing a crucial shot. Maybe if he found the first, able to fall back to a more passive angle towards long, where Snappy was alive, maybe ENCE would have been able to turn that one around. But G2 right now are looking really, really hot. And for the side of ENCE, the 2 saved rifles, a few pistols, and that's all they have to work with.
My concern here for ENCE additionally is they want to get Hades in the game as fast as possible. He's had a slow start, but their economy also hasn't really allowed him to have his hands in that AWP. Meanwhile, Madden watching on the cross, a lot of damage through the smoke. Jack's down to 16. May think better of that, but 4 players clumped up and a molly down on car suggests they're going to hang around a bit longer. I
like this. Like, when you have just the 2 rifles to work with, might as well go for a little bit more of a gamble stack. You know there's a presence coming in from a G2 towards long, and they've done this a couple of times as well, have G2 just all 5 members grouping up towards long, which makes me feel a little uncomfortable. But ENCE, I wouldn't say they've been cowed, but I've seen ENCE play in Dust2 in the past, and they've usually have this kind of almost like a no-respect, hyper-aggressive CD side where they keep poking and prodding and making life feel uncomfortable. But right now, they're giving quite a bit of respect towards G2. Spinks rattling off a number of bullets. He tickles down Monacy to 19, but Monacy will hit the shot, just spotting Spinks right above the smoke.
Issue here, though, on ENCE is they only have a flash left, and they've just tossed it out on long. There's no follow-up peek, no smokes, no incendiaries, 2 players on pistols. So yes, you've got a couple players low here, but what can you do about it? Well, Diha says, I've got an A1S, I'm going to spray down on 2 players. And it's the cousins that go across him as he looks to try and finish off the rest. has a chance, nails it on a third, looking for a fourth as well, but m0NESY has dealt the fatal blow, and with 25 seconds to play with now, G2 are reeling. Both players super low. m0NESY with a slight gap on the smoke has made it work, and now Madden on the flank could have them both dead to rights. There's one, but misses his second shot. 10 seconds to play with. Madden just needs to play possum, and Jack's rushing towards the site, needs to get this plant down right now. Gonna be able to have a couple moments to just retrieve a little position. Bit of reprieve now for him, and Jack peeks up. The perfect time. Madden switches his weapon, and it's put in the dirt.
Oh, those are some little bit of unconfirmed damage coming out there, Vince. If he knew how low Jax was, he would have gone for the duel. He would have gone for the fight. But Jax coming up absolutely clutch. That looked like a disaster of a round for G2, right? They were getting kind of they were getting kind of trapped towards long. Diha doing whatever he could with that M4A1. Snappy unfortunately getting caught by m0NESY through that gap, but in the end, Jax, he is solid. He is good enough to clutch it out in the end. And G2, they survive a bit of a scare there. For ENCE, though, that was kind of the eco, you know, around maybe a couple of upgraded pistols around. They saved A1, and now the buy is going to be coming in once more. For G2, though, there's going to be a bit of a kick in their economy, but they're still looking very, very solid here. They've laid a pretty solid foundation as to, for how many ever rounds they want to get here on this T side. But right now, if I'm G2, I'm feeling pretty comfortable. Sure, there have been a couple of scares here and there, but the individuals, their game plan, is kind of working out perfectly. Speaking of working out perfectly, m0NESY is being gifted a freebie by Diha.
Interesting that Diha has the AWP over Hades instead. I assume that was based off Spawn to peek up mid as fast as possible.
I would assume so, but Hades is all the way towards long, so kind of strange, because Hades, he was playing towards long. I'd assume he had a long spawn, in which case usually you might just give it to the AWP player, so a bit of a curious decision being made there. Hopefully maybe we can go back to the VOD or the demo, figure out what really transpired in that round. Right now, though, G2 getting an opening pick. And m0NESY already 11-3. Oh, he's looking deadly.
This is certainly a player that is proving a lot of people wrong, and maybe reaffirming some people's belief in him as well. They doubted. They said, oh, he's too young at a major to perform. Well, he has something to say about that one.
I mean, there were a lot of people saying that about when they played IM Katowice, and then he just 1v3'd the simple electronic and bit. I'm just saying, the guy was born for this game. Once more, G2, this time around, going to be creeping and crawling their way up towards short. The difference this time being they have Jax all the way towards top mid to ensure they don't get flanked from behind. And here comes the play, and Hunter will hunt Madden in that A bomb that taps him away. It's a 5v3, and if I'm ENCE, I'm already considering going for the save. The money, well, they have no money. Just going to save these weapons and maybe try and buy around it. Maybe, force like a FAMAS, a scout perhaps, but things aren't really looking good for ENCE right now.
No, they're not. And they did get the chance at an AWP. I think another reason you're obviously going to save, and it's a very unwinnable situation, is to give Hades another chance. However, I'm curious if we're going to have Diha maybe occupying himself with that AWP going forward. Something to maybe keep an eye out for, if it's dependent on spawns, as we're probably expecting it was, or if it's going to be more of a permanent fixture. That being said, though, ENCE aren't really too bothered about chasing down these players. They seem relatively content to allow the remainder of ENCE to stay alive over on the B side of the map. And they will hold on to the AWP and the two M4s with a healthy dosage of Kevlar and a smoke on top of it. So let's have a look. With those three save weapons, they could try and rummage together a 4-spy here. They'll be coming back into the 9th round, though. 6-2 behind. And obviously, we did hear the desk discuss this before, that this feels like if G2 want to get this done in 2-0, they may need to pick up Dust2, because Ancient's not exactly one of their greatest maps.
Yeah, I think the desk painted a perfect picture there, and again, this time it's a different name, but once again, they keep peeking m0NESY, man, every single time. Like, he's too fast. He is just too fast, and he is going to come out of the duel every single time. He's 4-0 right now for opening duels, and G2 as a whole are 7-2 in opening duels. They're showing why they picked this map, and just getting back to what we were touching upon when the desk set is going to be a three-mapper affair. Ancient, I feel, I don't want to say it, but it feels like a foregone conclusion, because ENCE are very, very, very comfortable on that map. G2 don't look that great on it, and m0NESY, Missing a shot there. It's all right, though. And yeah, for G2 to take this series, in all honesty, even though Maui said he expects G2 to take this, it's going to be on Dust2 and Mirage that they are going to be looking to find their wins, right? Because Ancient, it's going to be extremely hard against Snappy at his calling style, especially with how comfortable they are on this map. For the very first time, though, Vince, it's going to be a hit coming into its speed this time around.
It is, and Madden, I think, has a good idea as to what's coming up. He's just pushing outside of long right now, seeing nothing in mid. 1-for-1 trade, Bob gets spilled down. Here comes Dina, spraying in for one and a second as well. And he's been the shining light right now for ENCE. He's got himself 8 kills. Hunter and Nico remain. Tread lightly, though.
Look at a tunnel.
Yeah, the tunnel is definitely a problem, but Nico no longer will be. Hunter's about to get flanked, and he gets swept away from Madden, whose long flank round long has played out dividends. 3-6 will be the score. ENCE finally get themselves back on the board, but that has to be the first step of many if they want to get straight back into this game.
That could have easily still gone the way of G2, right? Like, again, props to Diha for just somehow turning it around. He goes for the spray through the smoke. They kind of got stuck at the entrance of tunnels. Great work from him. Spinks, he finds one, he gets traded immediately. And Madden, again, like you pointed out, he gets the flank from tunnels. Nico gets caught with that lurk. So good read overall coming out from ENCE, but they need more of that. They need more of that, and now they do have a double upset coming out. Spinks with the AWP. We've seen that a few times in the past. And Hades and Spinks, the 1-2 wombo combo with the Zoom bangers. Madden just jumping across. This is huge. Spinks, though. Are they going to be expecting this as a question? Spinks hears a drop down. He knows there's a player nearby. It's going to be Nico. And Spinks, crosshair train. He's looking for him. And he's going to miss the shot. And Nico, always ready, always deadly, finds yet another opening pick for the side of G2.
The worrying signs on the side of ENCE here, though, is even if they are solid on Ancient, there are just parts of this puzzle that have not fired off yet. They are not clicking the way you'd expect. They're comfortable on this map. They shouldn't be getting blown out this hard on the CT side. We're seeing Spinks not quite have the impact you expect. Diha has just been eradicated from Jax, who goes in and just banishes both. The A site is open for business, and it's going to be Jax that is wielding his team across for another round, potentially.
Not a single point of damage being taken by Jax. It's unreal how everyone on this G2 side seems to be so switched on right now. Hunter has been looking very, very solid. Modesty, I mean, he's 12-4. That itself is good enough. We've seen Nico just tapping away fools, and just everyone's having a very comfortable time here. And I said, ENCE, we're going to be needing more from you guys, but G2, they immediately switch things up. And look, there's not much you can do when Jax is just going to be popping hits like that. Looking for the final, gets tagged a bit but immediately plucks Madden's head clean off his shoulders. Clean round coming out from G2. You can see smiles all around, fist bumps as well. They're looking pretty mighty comfortable. And again, this is the first time that these two particular lineups have ever faced, whether online or LAN doesn't really matter. Because the last iteration of G2 when we had Amanek playing for that team. We didn't have Modesty yet. We didn't. They also still had Nexa. They were playing against, I do believe it was when Madden hadn't joined in. They still had Dodo. And it was like, what, like October last year? I think it was IM Fall, or IM Winter, the last time these two teams faced. So they haven't really faced each other. And Maui and Pimp, I think they painted a very good picture that when it comes to a team like G2, like how, you know, the amount of experience of players like Nico and whatnot, it's not going to be as easy. Like the individual prowess Spinks, like Maui, I think Maui said made a very good point when he said like how Spinks, he likes holding these off angles and whatnot, getting multi spray downs. Against players like Nico and Hunter with all his little jiggle peaks and just being so very good with their aim, it's not going to work out every single time.
Yeah, this is definitely a significant step up, maybe, from the kind of impact that Spinks was having in previous rounds. Nico, in the meanwhile, goes in two brisk headshots. The landlord of Antwerp, and he has evicted the CTs, but Snappy, he's a squatter. Says, nah, you can't get rid of me that easily. And he's actually taken the AK as well, and potentially given ENCE a chance.
I love the Molotov, the immediate reply coming in from G2, right? All right, fine, you have the AK-47. You're not going to be walking into the flames, although the smokes will be deployed, allowing them to do something a little crazy. But Spinks able to find one, finds a second kill as well, getting boosted up. That is massive. And Spinks drops on down. And suddenly, from a 5v3, it's down to 2 versus 3. Bomb will be planted. Modesty will give away his position, and Spinks will find the kill. And now it's all down to Alexi B.
Alexi B, two separate angles to watch out for, and he gets pinched. It's Snappy that takes him off, and we'll deal with him accordingly. And Nico, you just saw a little wry look on his face, a slight shake of the head. he got 2 clean entries, and they still lose the round.
They played that almost to perfection, did G2. They got a little over-eager. They're like, all right, they're behind the smoke right now. We're just going to be going for the, for the nades and the spams and whatnot. But credit where it's due. That was very quick on-the-fly thinking. They go for the immediate boost. Great spray transfer as well from Spinks. And he even drops down amongst all the commotion. Able to trade immediately as well. A little bit of over-eagerness from G2 there. Pushing a little bit ahead and getting punished. As ENCE, they win a round. In all honesty, they had no business winning considering the investment they had and considering Nico just popped 2 heads at the very beginning of the round. But still, money is still not in a great place here for the side of ENCE. The double upset will once more come out to play. And for G2, of course, they have all the money in the world to work with. The op still in the hands of m0NESY, and Spinks, he's getting pretty aggressive here with the AWP, but the flashbang will force him to stay his hand for the time being.
I've got to point out as well, I don't like to say this, but it's a similar result to what happened last major. Great shot from Hades, though. I was just about to say, Hades is 1-9. It's had very little impact. Hasn't had really any opening picks, and he goes and gets one, and now Madden has put the bomb down in long. That is surely a clean, comfortable round for ENCE. Keep in mind their economy. They can't really afford to lose many players from this point. It's not just about winning at this stage, it's about winning cleanly. Okay, well that's going to make it a little bit scrappier, especially as Nico removes the head of Snappy. Now they can go pick up that bomb. It's in an awkward position though. Hades with the ult misses the shot. And somehow Hunter's picked up the bomb and has the audacity to potentially re-peek this. Hades is scared that Nico may be pushing him from long. Nico's still up on the site itself. What a strange round this has been. And Nico removes the head of Diha. I said surely it has to be around for ENCE, and cleanly so. A 2v5 has gone into a 2-on-2.
Hades getting hunted down. That's a crucial kill for him to find, and now it's all on Nico. 20 seconds to work with. He needs to make a little bit of haste as Hades is going to miss his question. Nico comes jumping around. He should be able to find him, and he will indeed. No, he knows where the second player is as well. There's 8 seconds, and Spinks is just going to run for it. Nico has to hunt him down, and it is going to be Spinks to save ENCE there. But for a moment, Vince, for a moment... Oh my word, you give an inch, they will take everything away from you. This man is scary.
Man, Blair, that is a win that feels like a loss if you're ENCE.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like, you get across the finish line, okay, that was what, a 2v5? And you just lost 4 players? Your money is still in the bin? You are still scraping together whatever you can possibly get your hands on. This should have been your golden ticket cashed in to get straight back on the highway towards catching up G2 comfortably. And as it stands now, they still got their hands out begging just for an extra weapon here or there, or an extra bit of utility. And this is where it came from. Hunter and Nico, down but never truly out. Nico was so close to clutching this as well. Was forced into an awkward angle. Don't take anything away from Spinks. It's an excellent shot. If he misses that, he is dead. But look at ENCE. They've got M4s, but they've got no money in their back pocket afterwards. And m0NESY again with an entry down middle wins another opening duel.
Okay, all right, hold up. What was that? Just such a filthy downward flick from m0NESY, and oh man, the amount of individual prowess in the server right now, it just boggles my mind. That was so quick, Vince. And yeah, just getting back to what he said right there, like that was a round for ENCE to grind this one back, right? Make it a more comfortable attempt for them to make it maybe an 8-7 or a 7-8 half, but if G2 were able to somehow take this round away, which, they've already got the opening pick already, this could easily be like maybe a 10-5 in favor of Nico and his men, and that is not a happy proposition for the side of ENCE.
Going to run to the CT side, that is going to be a very difficult second half on the side of ENCE, so they are battling tooth and nail to keep in this. Again, they have got themselves a decent buy in this round, but it's really about the future. It's about the bigger picture. If G2 can get themselves this advantage moving into an 8th round. Time, though, starting to get a little bit scarce. The sands of time may end up being a 5th adversary for G2 after all, so they're pressing the button. They're going in full throttle. 30 seconds to play with. Nico drops down, but Diha is there to deal with it. Hades goes in through the smoke as well. Jax is the only T that's been able to come out on top in this exchange, and time is still ticking away. Diha, alive, will not be able to deny this bomb plant, but is keeping himself up close so that the rest of his team can get up close in themselves. But Hunter removes him, deals with him so quickly, so briskly, that it puts his teammates in such a horrible spot. Snappy and Spinks both trying to sneak their way up towards the side. Just less than half the fuse left on the timer. Both remainder of the T's are over on Catwalk. Hunter on low HP, 7 to be precise, has dished out the fatal blow to Spinks, and that could be the round. There's no mollies, HEs, or flashes to deal with Snappy, but they would have just heard him drop down, and thus G2 know they've got themselves an 8th round.
Might even be able to hunt him down here. Is he going to cross, though? Yup. Will cross, unfortunately for him. Hunter doesn't scope in, and they will at least save the AWP, but G2 just brute forcing their way onto that side. 3v3. Honestly, I felt like Diha did whatever he could, but this shot. Bro.
And he's consistently been doing that, but that's not just a fluke. That's what, his 5th time, maybe down mid, maybe 6th time he's been successful?
They're just gifting him these openings. They're just daring him. They're like, surely he doesn't hit another nasty shot in mid again. Don't do it. Don't you dare do it! He does it again and again and again, Modesty!
No.
He doesn't even see him, Vince!
This isn't okay!
This is just, oh my lord. 16-7. I think it's like 7-0 in opening duels already. And that too, I think every opening duel this one has been down mid. It's been ludicrous. Right now, there's only one saved AWP for the side of ENCE. And just pistols for the rest of them. USPs, in fact. So Snappy has to do pretty much everything by his lonesome. They know where the AWP is. And G2, they're going to slow things down. There's no need to really just run into a stack. They're going to try and be a little bit more methodical how they're going to clear things out. But Snappy, he's got a lot to do. And look, I mean, he has those games. He is capable. But this is going to require a gargantuan effort from the IGL.
Feels more of a scouting rule right now. Had a chance, a pixel, but it dashes past. And maybe that brief moment, that ghost in the night, is going to come back to haunt him now. Hades has lost his life on the side. Snappy simply had to land that shot. It was a difficult one.
He saves now.
Yes, exactly. This has to be a save. They can buy around this. It does put G2 on the 9-5 scoreline. And as you highlighted just before, Blair, that would look pretty good for a 10-5 half. ENCE, keep in mind, they won the pistol. And even with that huge advantage, they still find themselves in a vast deficit as we go through to the last round of the half. Doesn't seem like G2 are too interested in charging down. Not like their money is exactly in great shape either. AK has also been picked up additionally on the side of Spinks. It's a nice little addition, but the bomb is about to explode. 9-5 the score here, Blair. This is starting to get a little bit worrisome for ENCE.
Yeah, this is a far cry from the G2's T side we saw yesterday. I do believe it was against Spirit, where they went off on an 11-4 CD side, and then their T side was almost, I wouldn't say non-existent, but they were really, really struggling against Spirit there. But this has been them looking much cleaner, much better, much more convincing. The individuals looking fantastic as well. Oh, well, why have you done him like this?
Opening duel 6. To be fair, Snappy has come back a little bit. He was 0-7, I think, or 0-8 at one stage. Manasi, wait, he is human after all?
I mean, they're finally using a little bit of utility to cross on over. I think they lobbed in a nade there to kind of throw up debris so he can't see anything. So finally, it looks like ENCE are like, you know what, let's not test him again. Let's not test Manasi again. As G2, a lot of presence and pressure being exerted towards the B tunnels by Hunter, and has got his cousin towards lower tunnels in the form of Nico to make sure no one is going to be pushing in from mid. And ENCE are going to be slowly peeling back to a much more default position here. Jax is teasing Hades, and Hades will find him. So finally, an opening duel going the way here for ENCE, and that's going to immediately force G2 to go for a player. Still a lot of time to work with, though. A flash towards short, hoping that draws out a rotation. Right now, Monesi just going to be holding towards mid, looking to see if anyone's going to be daring to peek him. We've seen ENCE actually go for a couple of dry peeks towards mid. We saw Hades as well, where he did manage to land a kill. But right now, with a man advantage, there's no need to go for anything wild. Right now, it's all about just believing in your defaults, holding on to this bomb sites. Well-timed smoke being lobbed in as well by Madden. It's all the roots. It's going to be mid to be play again with Nico dropping out towards CD spawn.
And this is one of the first times we've seen this tactic. It's very A-heavy, small gap in the smoke. Nico is trying to keep them interested. They have decided to divert. This is a double switch and bait. And Nico removes the head of Hades, goes back in. Heavy damage to Madden, but he stands on 13 HP. Lucky for some. Madden may burn to a crisp, has to come out into the open, and in doing so, Hunter is there to collect. The guillotine comes down, but Diha is keeping this dream alive. 10 seconds to play with. Bomb does get planted, and Hunter in the meanwhile makes short work of Diha. 2-on-2. They know one of these players is on catwalk. Well played, flashbang, but this double tag team has now been put down to a solo effort. It is m0NESY. First frag goes the way of the young man, and now he's up against Spinks. No idea as to where his position currently lies. 17 frags already picked up for m0NESY, and Spinks is taking his sweet time. He has to pick up the pace. Time is running scarce now. m0NESY up close, going to be combat opening, looking for that no-scope, has now spotted Spinks. He's waiting for Spinks, but Spinks removes his head. And just in the nick of time, he should have this defusal. ENCE get their 6th, but it was so close.
Oh my lord, they needed it. They needed that round. But m0NESY, man, when that kid is alive, you kind of almost envision it. You can almost envision him clutching that 1v2. But Spinks, he gives ENCE a much needed round number 6 that came down to the wire. I liked a little bit of an adjustment from G2 there. They went for they thought it was going to be meant to be fake, and then Nico, he just gets an opening pick. They immediately run towards short. It's a little bit of a surprise there with the Jax just kind of peeking out wide. Hades getting that kill. Snappy doing everything he could there. Huge round, and Spinks able to clutch it out in the end. Crucial round, but still, G2 looking much more comfortable here on their map pick. And heading to the second pistol round, of course, we have Alexi B. Going to be taking one for his team. Couple of flashbangs, a kit for Jax. It's going to be a nade, a smoke, and another flashbang. So 3 flashes, a smoke, and a nade for the defenders. And for ENCE, Molly for short to enable them to get some control. And m0NESY burning in the flames, still going to be peeking down mid, but doesn't find anything. But it's still going to stick around. And they're looking for these fights. And what a tap by m0NESY. And it's going to drop on down the map. And the Lunatic looking for more. A snore by m0NESY. Finally, he will be dropped. But that is bloody murder at mid.
Where did that come from? That's the question that's going to be bouncing around the heads of ENCE right now. m0NESY out of nowhere, just collapsing. And suddenly, Diha and Snappy, last 2 players left with over a minute to play with, and they're being flanked. And it is the Megalodon of Nico. They thought he was extinct, but he's about to chomp down if they don't pick up the pace. And there's the first one, snaps onto the head. And that's going to be this round very much over, unless Diha pulls a miracle out of his back pocket. He's surrounded. They know exactly where he is. They saw the bomb spill down before. Ooh. Nice shot onto Hunter, though. There's still time. There is still a way back into this round. It is going to have to be paid with in the blood of G2 players, and they are all healthy, mind you, so it's going to have to be headshots dished out aplenty. The positions are good. Nico at this range is going to decapitate him, so the dream is dead, but G2 have picked up their 10th round and get the second pistol.
We're witnessing a tapestry of just violence from m0NESY. It's just no other way to describe it. He has been... I mean, what is this? The first one, great stuff. Just drops down amidst the tees, flicks around, finds Spinks. I even thought he was going to find Diha over there, and m0NESY, he's just come alive. 20-9 in 16 rounds as a force buy will come in here. And m0NESY, okay, he's looking to challenge down mid, but he will be tagged on to 33 points of health. It's going to be falling back to a more safer, more passive angle. For G2, if you look at the buy, we have the 2 A1s in the hands of the cousins. That's Nico and Hunter, quite a bit of utility as well, the MP9s. As Alexi B tucked in on the left-hand side of double doors. And Nico buys Lonesome. Very capable indeed, alongside the young steward in the form of m0NESY. And he's just waiting. They're going to be going for the contact play. This could catch Nico off guard.
It could, especially as m0NESY is now starting to move into position. The
the
flashbang up and over. The peak's going to be behind his smoke down as Nico chomps again. 2 kills. Exquisite flashbang. The teamwork on point. And ENCE have been rumbled. Stuck on catwalk again. There won't be any flanking contingent just in yet on the side of G2, but let's be honest, they don't really need it considering they're up against Eagles and NiKo is still very much alive on the catwalk side. Maybe on 43 HP, but that smoke is doing a lot of harm to the T's vision, and thus they must pull back. However, Hunter is here. He's on the prowl now, picking up the mantle from the cousin and seeing if he can maybe capitalize and pad those stats. There's one. NiKo with the assist. Molly down, stops any re-engage, forces ENCE out into the open. And at some point, they're going to have to realize they have to die. They can't afford to let this one take too long. Thus, they take the initiative, but it's into G2's hands, and they close this out in style.
It's just sheer confidence from NiKo there. Just sheer confidence. 43 points of health in front of the smoke, just tapping away with an A1. And even when he knows he's going to be running out of bullets. And that's the one danger for using the M4A1. It's the fact that you only have just 25 bullets. So, firstly, this flash was just pristine. And they're just feeling confident. That's a dangerous G2. Just the individual prowess coming to play over here as, okay, m0NESY getting tagged back, but he, in turn, will tag Diha. This, of course, is pretty much... just a very light buy, a couple of upgraded, you can see a couple of Deagles being upgraded. So they're going for the scout buy, which is a bit surprising as Hunter trying to farm a little bit of cash, but the Deagles are starting to sing. Madden finding Jax, that is huge. That is massive. They have control of the B bomb side. He spots the CT2 would spawn as well. Now, the only problem here is they don't have a smoke to cross the bomb onto the bomb side, and they already have Elixir B pushed up close, looking to prevent that from taking place, and he will drop Spinks.
Not sure about that peek from Alexi, but he gets away with it. The bomb's now been spilled on the other side of the doors. They have to go back over, out into the wilderness, into the danger to even get the bomb in the first place, but the timing works against them. I actually think that NiKo may have passed in front of m0NESY and blocked the shot. Down to 1 HP now. They're both super low. However, m0NESY still puts the bullet to the head of Madden, and it's a scout battle at the end. Enemy at the gate style, as m0NESY trying his best to defend this site. The bomb is still spilled out just outside of long. It's still in an awkward position, but there is a bit of time to play with. And Hades, doing his due diligence, checking the angles, could all come down to timing. One bullet on either of these players, and this round should be done. Such an integral moment in this match. G2 could extend this lead, and with 25 seconds... now picking up the bomb, Hades has no idea that m0NESY's gone walkies, that he's actually gifted this site across. m0NESY seemed to think that maybe that rotation was coming in, but now he's about to get that confirmation. B site will be the final resting place of this round. Coming back in again is m0NESY. The barrel of the gun may betray Hades if he's not careful right now. It could be a no-scope that finishes this round. Oh, Hades! What a flick onto... what a ridiculous shot! I can't believe he's actually landed that!
What a round! What a round! What a round, Vince! Oh, they just got into each other's heads. m0NESY's like, he hasn't made a sound yet. Has he just legged it? Has it gone towards T-spawn? What a shot! That was a fast scope through the edge of the box. And m0NESY, we've seen what this kid can do, but Hades, he's showing he can do it as well. A huge round for ENCE to win. As the buy is going to be coming in for G2, though, they have guns aplenty. A couple of FAMASs, however. I know there are a couple of our fellow talent who aren't a big fan of the French rifle, but look at this, NiKo pushing up mid. They're being aggressive. They're being in your face, and I don't think ENCE are going to be ready for this. 4 players making their way towards long. They have one towards T-spawn, but NiKo is making his way there, and that flash should be a tell for Spinks as a player nearby, but NiKo does not continue to push any further. And with the amount of noise being made by ENCE towards long, the defenses of G2 to slowly start to congregate.
Well, we've had such a good match so far. We have plenty more to come up. Round 19, we'll see ENCE starting to pillage and pilfer on towards the A side. Molotov down to the back. There's Madden. There's a gap on that smoke, and Alexi B makes the most of this one way. Diha needs to be very careful, but sprays through and gets the reward before m0NESY bounces back with his AWP. Plays low. m0NESY continues to just orchestrate this devastation onto ENCE. They are not giving up and not relinquishing the site. They fend away the on-pushers and get a 12th round on top of it.
A massive hiccup the previous round, but they're able to counter back. They do lose a couple of players there, but those were the FAMASs, so still have the AWP in play. They're going to be feeling reasonably comfortable for ENCE, though. Actually, it's going to be G2 calling for attack timeout. I actually like that.
Yeah,
they know these rounds are pretty back and forth. They want to ensure that, considering the lead they had in the first half, they want to close this out as efficiently as possible, not allowing ENCE back into the game. And that's a way to do it, right? Sure, ENCE win that previous round, but then G2 able to smash it back and force ENCE to what should be just a very light buy.
m0NESY has just seemingly been omnipresent in this game, and Blair, I was a bit worried. I thought, right, he got 6 opening duels, going his way. His opening kills were super high from middle T-side spawn. That's not really something you can consistently get success with on the CT side. Is this where he goes off the boil? The answer is a resounding no.
They've gone for the Force, by the way. They've just gone for the Force. It's going to be the full Hail Mary push coming in towards the B bomb side. And Famas doing a lot of damage as Diha finds 2-1, being one of his teammates. And this B hit has come to a premature stop. Just Madden and Hades remaining, and they will just leg their way out of there. And they're actually going to be running all the way through T-spawn very, very quickly indeed. And that means Alexi B, he won't hear them, but for them to cross on over towards the long doors, he should definitely spot them.
Yeah, this is such a great position because not only does it give him intel up middle if they're trying to push up catwalk, additionally now he's just going to have the early intel on the teammates as m0NESY drops the bomb down, and Alexi with the freest of kills, he's going to go for the shank right between the shoulder blades.
Oh my.
Insult to injury, money in the bank, but more importantly, G2 with a 13-7 lead on Dust2.
This is a good-looking G2. There were a lot of question marks. And I was one of the doubters of the G2 lineup heading into this event. Apart from that incredible debut they had in IEM Katowice, G2 have been looking very, very shaky indeed. They had some very rough runs recently, and then to come into this tournament looking this clean against the upstarts in the form of ENCE, who have been, some people call them even the dark horse of this tournament, right? And the fact that they're coming with the game plan individually looking brilliant, and looking very solid indeed. And again, I will have to echo our fellow analysts when they said that this is a must-win map for G2. And right now, they are solid. NiKo and m0NESY are, I think, 11 to 2 in opening duels combined. If that's not a winning formula, I don't know what is. However, right now, though, this B bomb site, it's getting pincered, Vince.
Great flash out, though. It does isolate and stall this push for now. They don't get a kill off the back of it, although it was heavy damage. Now from the side of Madden threads the eye of the needle with a Deagle headshot. Beautifully done. However, he's not around long to celebrate it, and Spinks may be getting blown to smithereens from Hunter's grenade. 1 HP on Snappy as well, and Hades, not much to really do as far as he's concerned. Snappy, try as he may, is running into the Finnish blockade of Alexi B. And Hades, last man standing, not for much longer. To be completely honest, though, it does feel like Hades has lacked a little bit of impact in this game, especially, Blair, if you compare him to his opposite number of m0NESY.
Oh, absolutely. And I think this is something we've spoken about on the desk as well a number of times, would be how for the side of ENCE, you have the star, you have your superstar in the form of Spinks. You have someone like Madden, the impact he has, Diha as well. And the thing for Hades is we know how good he can be. But it's about the fact that he can be a little inconsistent. And right now, I think you hit the nail on the head. He has been extremely, extremely quiet, especially going up against a team like G2. You can't afford to have your star AWPer being this quiet. It's going 7 and 18 as opposed to 26 and 10 in the form of young m0NESY.
Could be a kill here on Hunter. Perfect crosshair placement. Didn't even have to budge. And yeah, do you know what the damning stat is? I think m0NESY might actually have more opening kills than Hades has combined altogether. Snappy, though, will deal with the over-aggression of Alexi B, and that does open up a little business on long side.
Yeah, Alexi B may be getting a little too over-eager. He wasn't expecting the play to be boosted up there towards long doors early on, so he was pushing in because of the smoke, which he had lobbed in deep. So getting a little caught off guard is the IGL of G2. But still, 4 versus 4, pretty even Steven. Snappy is pretty low in health as well, mind you, and 52 points of health in Madden, making sure there's no one behind him. Bear in mind, he's got the bomb as Hunter just clotheslines Hades. But they're going to be pivoting back towards the B bomb side. And for G2, it's a 4v3. There's no need for Jax to budge from his position, as Snappy's trying his desperate best to try and sell this fake towards A. But NiKo spots nothing, and that means Jax, he's ready at B.
He is completely in position. Only realistically needs to get 1 kill to be valuable. In the off angle, 1 and 2 with a silenced element with the A1S. They had no idea, and he's going to punish them and spray him down. 8 map points now on the side of G2.
Even though I agree with Maui when he said like that this should be G2 taking it, and I did expect G2 to be, you know, pretty convincing on Dust2. This has been a masterclass coming out from Nico and his band, looking really, really solid, looking just individually fantastic. And ENCE, I gotta say, they look a little lost. G2 just seem to have a perfect read on whatever they're up to. This hyper-aggression, this almost, I wouldn't say no respect style, but just like this controlled aggression coming out from the individuals, just catching ENCE off guard multiple times. We saw in the second pistol round as well, for example, Monsi just dropping down mid, getting 3 ridiculous kills. And the pain, it just continues. This symphony of destruction being orchestrated by G2. And Monsi with his conductor stick, I guess? Is that called a conductor stick?
Yeah. Maybe, I thought it was a wand, but I think it is. He's basically the puppet master, right?
Master of puppets? Yeah.
Exactly. Making them dance for him. Alexi B, though, the brains behind this operation, showing he can frag when it's called upon. Here is the man in question. Flick across, never in doubt. Diha hits the dirt maybe for the last time on this map. And Snappy and Spinks have to go above and beyond. Spinks tagging Nico heavily, but on 1 HP, Nico just slaps him out of the server for what should be the last time here on Dust2. And Snappy will go the very same way. Domination from G2.
Absolute domination. The two hunters, hunters in the server, the 2 cousins, Nico and Hunter, ending that game, and I do believe it was 22, 23 kills apiece. And then, of course, Monesi, 27 frags, looking absolutely deadly. Great map overall coming out from G2. And for ENCE, well, I mean, they're obviously not going to be gutted yet. They've been in similar situations in the past as well. Coming up next, obviously going to be Ancient, but that was a masterclass coming out from the side of G2.
Yeah, as you said, we expected G2 probably would win Dust2. It was maybe a little bit closer than Ancient looked, at least in the stats, but winning Dust2 in that way, that also makes me a little bit nervous now